Knight. We start with Knight because in the old system, this title wasn't part of the real hierarchy at all. It was granted for service, not land, and unlike every rank above it, it died with the person who earned it. It never passed to a child. In money terms, the Knight is the six-figure earner, the person who reached recognition through one skill, one job, one hard-won title at work. It feels like status. It buys none of the protection that real wealth buys. The moment the paycheck stops, the title goes with it, the same way it always did. Baron. Above Knight sits Baron, the lowest rank that actually came with land. A baron in the old system answered directly to the king in exchange for loyalty and soldiers, and that land was the whole point. Something fixed, something that produced value, whether or not the baron showed up to work that day. The money equivalent is the first tier of real net worth, roughly $1 to $5 million once the house is counted. It's the first bracket where a person owns something instead of simply earning something. It is also, historically and today, the most common title at the bottom of any hierarchy that calls itself wealthy. Viscount. The word comes from the Latin vice comes, meaning deputy. Viscounts were never the ones in charge. They administered land on behalf of someone above them, handled the paperwork of power without quite holding it. The financial parallel is the manager class wealthy, $5 to $10 million, usually built by running someone else's company, well, rather than owning the whole thing outright. A private bank will assign this person an advisor. Nobody hands them the keys to anything larger. The role has always been about proximity to wealth, not possession of it. Earl. One of the oldest titles in the language, predating even the Norman conquest. An earl once governed an entire county and commanded troops inside it. This is the tier where the money story changes shape. $10 to $30 million. And for the first time, the person usually owns the whole operation rather than a piece of it. They hire. They fire. Their name is on the door. Historically, an earl needed no one's permission to act inside his own territory. The modern earl doesn't either. Marquis. Originally the guardian of the border, the Marquis held a uniquely dangerous post, defending the kingdom's edges from Scotland, Wales, or whoever else came looking. Because the threat was constant, the role demanded more military strength than an earl ever needed. The financial Marquis sits at $30 to $100 million, and the danger has simply changed shape. Lawsuits, estate tax, a single bad year in the market erasing a decade of work. This is the first tier where defending the fortune becomes a full-time occupation in itself. Duke, the highest rank below royalty, first used in Britain by William the Conqueror for the men he trusted most. A duke didn't just own land, he governed entire regions, with a level of wealth and authority that put him a half step from the crown itself. The financial duke crosses $100 million, the rough ceiling of what gets built rather than inherited. For centuries, this was as high as anyone climbed without already being born into it. That has not changed. Prince. Here the entire system flips. A prince isn't granted a title for service or land. A prince is born into one. The wealth equivalent is the heir. Someone positioned to inherit a fortune at the 9 or 10-figure level without having built a single dollar of it. Not every child of a wealthy family qualifies, the same way not every royal child was historically called prince. It's reserved for whoever stands to actually inherit control. For as long as the parent is alive, this person rarely shows up on any list at all. King. At the very top, the king once held something close to absolute power over the land, the military, and the economy beneath him. Over centuries, that power became mostly ceremonial, even as the title kept its weight. The financial king is the billionaire, a rank that once meant controlling an entire industry outright, and today more often means owning the right asset before the rest of the market understood its value. Regulation and public scrutiny took most of the direct control away. The recognition stayed exactly where it always was. I hope you enjoyed this look at what the old hierarchy would mean if it ran on money.